So M94, I just guessed that. So since you're gushing over AOC and the new New Zealand president, Jacinda Hard,
Harden.
Jessica Hard,
Jacinda.
Jacinda Hard.
Harden.
Okay, and that person, wow, like a very weird name.
It's cool. She was a DJ.
What?
She's so fun.
She was a DJ and she's the president of the country. Wow, man.
She was
Okay,
a
okay.
DJ while learning a law political.
Okay, come back to the the question that I'm about to ask. You are very left leaning.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. So and you are a Christian. Your relationship with God is quite important to you.
Yeah.
By God, but we mainly say the Christian God. Just clarifying, yeah. Yeah. So, but most Christians are not very left leaning. Yeah. So how does your relationship with God and your political views fit? Like in your, because I'm guessing God is overarching everything.
Yeah.
How does your political views fit into? Sorry, guys. Someone called me. Yeah.
The problem with politics is that it's a lot of manipulation. A lot of ideals are just wrong. When people start thinking about politics, it's the bad things that people remember. There's a lot of negativity around even talking about politics and stuff because people remember all the bad things or the corruption or the bad things over here. But what I like to think about when politics is just governance. Like, how do you govern people? So, when you understand everyone's equal, you have to respect everyone's right to live, like basic human rights. Your right for water, food, land, your house, your job, and your security as a person. So nobody can strip that away from you, ideally. That should be the basis of how people are governed. That everybody should have this basis of equality among everybody. Like, it doesn't matter what religion, your faith, your orientation, your anything, nothing, literally nothing should matter when people are seen as a citizen of this country. So this country should work for the people. So when you're governing the entire populace, there are various forms of governance. So you can be an authoritative dictatorship who is controlled by one person, does everything according to that person's will. You can have democracies that are technically supposed to be the will of the people, elected by the people. The problem is, even with democracy, it's just not done right now. Because democracy are ideally for educated populace. So they have that understanding, they are involved in the affairs, they're involved and they understand what's happening, and then they elect someone who can do the job, who will do the job. They understand the job, then they understand the person who's going to be doing the job. That's not what's happening around the world. Like nationalistic views, very far right conservative views, majoritarianism. That's the trend now. Everywhere in the world, literally. America to UK to France to Sri Lanka to India, everywhere is that. It's running on literal, very racist sounding rhetoric. Like majorities are demonizing another group for the vote of someone else. So that's also, it's definitely nobody has the perfect system. That's a given. Democracies to socialism to communism, nobody's ever found the perfect way of governing people. The perfect, because people are in fact broken. That's the problem here. People are in nature broken. So governing people, the people who are governing also broken. So everybody has to understand it. But we can definitely set systems that work for people. So when you're governing, you can set a system that works for people. You don't create a demonizing community, or you don't create the losers in the community. So it can be a level playing field for all. So personally, I believe in opportunity for all. Hard work has to pay off. If hard work has to pay off, then there can be no corruption. There can be no favoritism. Those people in power has to be on merit. It has to be meritocracy and people in governance, people who are making policies, people who are making actual governing decisions, have to be people who actually know the job that they're doing.
So it doesn't matter if it's left or right leaning, just have
It shouldn't. It ideally shouldn't. So what you mean by left and right is that uh, socialism or democracy.
left and right in the sense like more liberal viewpoints and more conservative viewpoints.
So conservatism also comes back to one ideology, unfortunately. So it's like it doesn't take into account everybody's viewpoint, or it doesn't take into account enough a holistic point of view from the country. Like we are blessed with so many ethnicities, so many religions, so many people from everywhere that it's such a melting point that we need a new understanding of how to govern all these people.
No, it's neither conservative or liberal.
Yeah, it can't be. It can't be one way or the other. Because even historically, Sri Lanka's always had these kingdoms that are broken. You had the Rajarata, Maharata. It's always been broken. The Kandy kingdom, the Jaffna kingdom, it's always been broken, and it's very few times that uh, the entire country has come under one flag. So when that happened, the king actually respected everybody. So even in Polnaro, you'll see right next to the big Buddhist temples, you have the Hindu courts. People respected each other. People understand each other. People are working for each other and communities. The problem is governance. You have to represent everybody. Yeah, it has to be bipartisan. It has to represent everyone, and it has to be a hopefully. I don't think we have a system that works for everyone yet. Because if you say socialism and communism, it gives way to leaders who can be corrupt. Unfortunately, people can be corrupted. So it kind of leads to people taking over power and controlling and going down that route. If you look at democracies, it's not really working for everybody as well. As a minority, I've never seen a leader who has had my perspective ever, right? So even seeing that representation in governance, it's a big deal. So I don't think we still have figured out a way to govern people in general anywhere in the world. We need I don't know, a hybrid system that works for people. Ideally, people should be able to have a say in who they are governing, but then the government can be more controlling of who actually makes the decision. So the right people have to be in. So obviously, there's no corruption, there's no manipulation, there's no favoritism. So everybody has equal say, and everybody. So people can be who they are, literally. So they shouldn't be hiding who themselves. People should be passionate about things they do, and like people should be able to dream. That's what it really comes down to: you being you, and you being accepted for you. If that ever happens, that's a system where it won't create the losers in the community. It won't create that demonizing community that people say, "Oh, these are not right people. They shouldn't be here." You won't have class segregation. You won't have caste segregation. So it's a very utopian, idealistic world, but it's still a possibility if it's still a possibility if we actually respect each other. It's simple as that. It never comes down. It really does come down to respecting and loving each other. Like I don't.
So what you're explaining to me is a perfect world,
Yeah, like an ideal world.
ideal world.
Like we still haven't figured out even a way to like govern each other.
Yeah. Okay. So bringing back uh, to the question of your Christianity, the whole point of what we believe is that man was made perfect.
Right.
Okay. And man committed sin and man is broken. And until man knows reconciled with God, I don't want to talk about the reconciliation process because that's not related to the topic that we're talking about. Unless they are unreconciled, they're still not being perfect. I mean, the reconciliation process is finished after death only. Yeah, we both believe that.
Exactly. Yeah.
So this world that you are describing, I don't think it will happen because man is fallen, man is sinful. Yeah, So if you believe the Bible, I don't think the world that you're describing will ever happen on Earth, and that's why I think that it's after death only.
But until death, we can make a better world for
Yeah, we could
people.
try. We could try.
We have to always try. That's the thing. We can't stop just saying we're waiting for that and then things will get better.
Yeah, no way. That's a total cop out.
Yeah,
The
so
people are called to do stuff by God, to do certain stuff, to go to politics.
kind of have to stand up for the marginalized, stand up for the voiceless, stand up. We are supposed to be peacemakers in this world. That's what we are called to do. So wherever we see ourselves in our passions or in our workplaces or in our communities, we can stand up for things. Um, but yeah, I think there has to be a lot of change in like mindsets, like even education. I think I'll keep coming back to education a lot because I personally feel that's where all the change is going to start from. So if we don't, yeah, we'll never have an ideal world where everyone's happy and everyone can be whatever they want. But we'll never stop fighting for it, or we shouldn't ever.
Coming back to the original question, how does your Christian view find fit into this? The whole political.
Everybody is children of God, then everybody should be treated equally. Simple as that. Then everyone should be able to find their own purposes in an equal community.
That is where we both disagree. I don't think everyone is a children of God, but that's a total other debate that we can go into, which is not suitable for this podcast, I see. Yeah, so
It's a heavy subject, I guess. It can't be explained within minutes, but yeah, it's a constant conversation.
this random topic turned out to be a bit of serious topic, but that's all right. Hope you guys had fun listening to us rambling about politics again.